From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau. This is your News 8 Daily for Thursday, January 15th. It is cold again outside. We're in the low 20s right now. The high, though, will only be about 26 degrees. And we're going to have some snow. After midnight's really when we're going to get that snow. Bitter temps tomorrow and possibly maybe an inch of snow as you're heading into the Friday morning commute. So this isn't going to be great timing when it comes to schools and getting on the bus. So stick with us here on Wish TV. We've got you covered. Breaking news this morning. Former City County Council President Vop Osili is running for mayor of Indianapolis in 2027. He stepped down as council president last month after serving in the position since 2018, fueling speculation that he would be running for the position. Then, this morning, he announced it, making it official. We do expect to hear more from him today, and we'll have all of that on wishtv.com throughout the day. Governor Braun used his State of the State speech to call on lawmakers to bring down the cost of housing and utilities. News 8 government reporter Garrett Berquist was in the House chamber for last night's address.
The governor says he wants lawmakers to focus on affordability issues. That echoes the priorities of both parties in the General Assembly. Most of the priorities Braun identified already are moving through the legislature. The governor specifically endorsed the top two Republican priority bills in the House. One changes how utility bills are calculated. The other would limit local regulations on single-family homes and accessory dwelling units.
Too many Hoosiers who can't afford to own a home at all. Home prices have surged because we aren't building enough, and unnecessary regulations are driving up costs.
For his part, the governor says he will push anyone looking to build a data center to cover 100% of the cost of increased power generation, not 80% as required by law. And he says we can expect some movement on child care.
I look forward to digging in during the budget session to see what we can do to invest in lowering child care costs. I'd like to see a program where businesses have skin in the game as well. They benefit from it. We did it many years ago. We need to get back to it.
Democrats say Braun is responding to a crisis of his party's own making. They say he'll have to back up his talk, including potentially with mid-cycle spending decisions.
Saying affordability matters is easy. Governing like it matters, and it's the test. And here is the truth Hoosiers already understand. After 20 years of one-party control, Republicans drove Indiana into an affordability crisis and are now turning to Democratic ideas to try to get us out of it.
Legislative Republicans say the solution to the affordability crisis is less government intervention, not more.
Take a look at daycare, for instance. We've been trying over the last several years to decrease the regulation, not so that it becomes unsafe, but to make sure, when you decrease the regulation, you make it a little less expensive. So those are some conservative ideas that we're trying that'll decrease some of the costs for Hoosiers around the state.
The governor faces a short timetable to enact his legislative agenda. State lawmakers plan to wrap up the session by the end of next month. At the State House, I'm Garrett Berquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Now to Minnesota. The Department of Homeland Security says a federal officer in Minneapolis shot and wounded a man yesterday who they say violently assaulted the officer. The shooting comes 1 week after an ICE officer shot and killed another protester in the city. Reed Binion reports.
I urge anyone that is at the scene to leave immediately.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara urging protesters to go home Wednesday night amid clashes with law enforcement after a federal officer shot a man in the leg. The Department of Homeland Security said the subject, a Venezuelan man who is in the country illegally, fled in his vehicle during a, quote, targeted traffic stop, then crashed into a parked car and fled on foot. When the officer caught up to him, he allegedly resisted arrest. DHS said 2 other individuals attacked the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle.
During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking 1 adult male.
Tensions rose as protesters gathered at the scene with a crowd following agents through the neighborhood. Agents launched pepper balls and what sounded like flashbangs. Smoke hung in the air as officers deployed tear gas canisters, with a member of the crowd apparently throwing one of the canisters back at agents. While still demanding ICE leave the city, officials, including the mayor, are asking the public to remain peaceful.
We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Back here to Indiana, your statewide news network covers Elkhart County, where Indiana State Police now say snow and limited visibility may have led to a 30-car pileup on the Indiana toll road. State police say they first got a call around 4 p.m. that a 3-car crash had happened on the toll road about 2 miles east of Elkhart. Investigators say they believe a series of several other crashes then happened after the initial wreck. In total, 30 vehicles were involved. Investigators say multiple people were hurt, but they do not think anyone has life-threatening injuries. Happening today, there will be a public hearing on a $500 million proposed data center in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood. The meeting's at the City County building at 1 this afternoon. IT Mate's Tim Spears talked to people ahead of the hearing.
This vacant, nearly 14-acre property has sat unused for about 4 decades since the old Sherman Drive-In Theater shut down. Now, the company behind the data center project, Metro Blocks, tells me it's essentially addressed all the concerns that it has heard from neighbors. But what I heard from opponents of the project was a lack of trust with the company. They just don't buy it.
The decisions are being made about this community rather than with this community.
Faith leaders and community members rally opposition against the proposed Sherman Drive data center. Organizers like Reverend Fitzhugh Lyons Jr. want to see the space developed in a way that meets neighbors' daily needs, like a bank or grocery store.
We're not against development of the area. The point is, we would like to have some say-so in what that development is.
By revitalizing a blighted property, District Councilman Ron Gibson believes the data center could actually help draw those developments.
This particular proposal will not only help our community, but bring economic development and improve infrastructure.
He believes, talking to constituents, it has public support.
If this was to be a public vote today within my district, I believe it'll win probably by 60-40.
The site is currently zoned for industrial uses like warehouses, while opposition has centered around environmental concerns, including noise, proximity to housing, and utility use. Metro Blocks claims the data center is designed to be low impact, using relatively little water, include noise barriers, and the company will cover electricity costs and grid upgrades. Telling News 8, not all data centers are designed equally, and this one is intentionally designed to integrate seamlessly into the community. Metro Blocks says that what they want to put in is less hazardous than what it's already zoned for.
We don't trust Metro Block at all. We're no longer interested in anything they have to say.
Would you rather this property stay vacant rather than a data center go in?
Absolutely, because that's grounds for possibilities for other useful tools, other useful infrastructure.
If rezoning is approved, the $500 million data center would take about 2 years to build, but not if these folks have anything to say about it.
We're not saying that we don't want data center, but what we're saying is we don't want it here.
The public hearing is scheduled Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. in the City County building. Then it will go to the Metropolitan Development Commission and then finally to the City County Council for a final rezoning vote. Reporting in Martindale-Brightwood, Tim Spears for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
New on Daybreak, 4 astronauts are back on Earth after they had to come home due to one having health issues. The astronauts are from the U.S., Russia, and Japan and splashed down near San Diego just before 4 this morning. Officials have not said which astronaut needs care or what the health concerns are. The National Transportation Safety Board says Boeing warned plane owners as early as 2011 about the failed part that contributed to the deadly UPS plane crash in Louisville that killed 15 people. The crash happened in November when the left engine flew off the wing shortly after takeoff. The board said yesterday that Boeing had documented 4 previous failures of the part that helped secure the MD-11's engine to the wings, but the company did not require plane owners to make repairs. The NTSB has yet to release its final report on what led to the crash. Senate Republicans have voted to dismiss a war powers resolution that would have limited President Donald Trump's power to carry out further attacks on Venezuela. 2 Republican lawmakers flipped their votes, including Indiana's Todd Young. The measure would have forced Trump and the administration to seek congressional approval for any further action in the country. Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote. Democrats forced the debate after U.S. troops captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in a surprise nighttime raid earlier this month. Elon Musk and X say that the artificial intelligence chatbot, Grok, will no longer edit images of real people in revealing clothing on the platform. This comes after Grok was found to be complying with user requests to digitally undress images of adults and, in some cases, children. X announced yesterday that it has taken measures to prevent these types of images from being generated. The creators of non-consensual intimate images could still face criminal prosecution, especially of child sexual abuse material. Sports now. As excitement builds towards IU's national championship game against Miami on Monday, players are embracing their head coach's mentality. Curt Cignetti is a national phenomenon. He has been the talk of the football world after taking the Hoosiers to new heights in his 2 years in Bloomington. IU linebacker Aiden Fisher followed Cignetti from the coach's last job at James Madison. This week, Fisher told reporters he and other players even sound like their coach sometimes.
I was on the phone with my mom about 2 days ago. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. And I was like, yeah, I just hope like somebody just doesn't get complacent. And I was like, wow, like I've been sick for way too long. And she was like, yeah, I said the same thing the other day. Like she was using the word complacent. So it's just funny, like when you've been with somebody for so long, you start like kind of talking like them a little bit.
Wish TV is giving you all access to the College Football Playoff Championship game and the undefeated Hoosiers. We will have team coverage with sports director Anthony Calhoun and Andrew Chernoff in Miami starting tomorrow morning here on Daybreak. Bloomington's gearing up for the College Football Playoff Championship with free rally towels for fans. IU will hand out the towels today from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Assembly Hall. First 10,000 people will get a towel. People going to the championship game in Miami can also pick up towels inside Hard Rock Stadium on game day. Pacers watch now. A comeback falls short as the team's 3-game winning streak comes to an end. The Toronto Raptors led by as much as 27 points before the Pacers cut that gap to just 4 points with less than 6 minutes to go in the game. As close as they got, though, Toronto took the win 115-101. Pacers are back at home for 7 p.m. tip-off against New Orleans tomorrow night. Seymour, Indiana native John Mellencamp is set to come to a small town near you this July. Mellencamp will be stopping in Noblesville on July 18th as part of his Dancing Words tour. He will be playing his greatest hits on the tour. Tickets go on sale at 10 on Friday, January 23rd. That's Friday next week. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordo. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.